Okay, 9.4. Today we're talking about writing circles in descriptive form. Okay, descriptive meaning x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. This is descriptive form. Okay, so for each of these, we are going to put them in descriptive form, and then we're going to write our center and our radius. When you're writing in descriptive form, we have to complete the square. You'll notice today that we have our squares on one side of the equation and then our r squareds on the other side, like our plain numbers are on the right side. So when we're completing the square, we will add the same thing to both sides of the equal sign. When we're dealing with parabolas, that's when you're adding and subtracting because everything's staying on the same side. They're not on opposite sides. Do you guys understand what I mean by that? Okay, if not, we'll get through it here in just a minute. When you are putting things in descriptive form, you want to group your x's together and you want to group your y's together. And then your plain numbers will go on the other side of the equal sign. So with the y, do you see how there's no plain y term? Am I going to need to complete the square with the y then? No, it's already a square, and that means that it'll end up being 0 for that part of the center. But on the x's, because I have a plain x along with my x squared, I'm going to need to complete the square for that one. Okay? So we're going to write this as x squared plus 4x plus blank. And then I have plus my y squared, which I don't need to do anything for, equals 0. And then because I have a blank for my x's, I need a blank on the other side plus a blank. They are both adding because if I add the same thing to each side of the equation, each side of the equal sign, it balances, right? With the parabolas, I was adding and subtracting to balance it because they were on the same side of the equal sign. Do we understand the difference? Okay, so how do I end up completing the square here? Good. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then 2 squared is 4. So the number that goes into each of my blanks is 4. Okay, and then we write this as a square, and we have x plus what? 2, because it's always my half number. Whatever value is there, that is the number that goes in my parentheses. X plus 2 squared plus y squared equals, and then we combine these together, and 0 plus 4 is 4. So this is my equation in descriptive form. And then what is my center? Good. -2, comma 0. And then what is my radius? 2. Remember, this number is r squared. So if I go r squared equals 4, in order to find r, we take the square root of both sides. So r equals 2. Why is my center over here -2 and not +2? Because you set it equal to 0, and when you set x plus 2 equal to 0, you end up getting x equals -2. But most of us are able to just do that in our head, right? Okay. Does anybody have questions about this problem before we move on? Remember, the only dumb question is the one that is not asked. All right. Here we go. Example 2. Okay, this time when I'm separating my x's and my y's, notice that the x squared doesn't have a plain x term. Okay, and the y squared has a plain y. So am I going to have to complete the square of the x's? No, but I'm going to with the y's, correct? Okay, so we're going to write this out. We have x squared plus, for my y squareds, I'm going to make a parenthesis, and we have y squared plus 10y plus blank equals 0, and then we need a blank for the y, where I'm completing the square. How do I complete the square with the y's? Good. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 5 squared is 25. So what do I do with the 25? Good. Put it into the blanks. Now we're going to write our equation. We have x squared plus, what will be my y? Good, we have that right there. Y plus 5 squared equals, and when I add 0 plus 25 together, that equals 25. There's my equation in descriptive form now. What is my center? Very good, 0, -5 is correct. And what is my radius? And how do we know the radius is 5? We take the square root of 25. Okay. With circles, we talked about this yesterday, but there cannot be a number in front of our squared terms. Good. Can I divide every single term by 3? Yes. So we're going to do that before we even start our problem. We're going to divide every single term in our equation by 3. When I do that, my new equation is going to be x squared minus 4x plus y squared plus 6y equals 3. Okay, we're going to separate our x's and our y so we complete the square. So this time, how many? I'm going to have to complete the square for both of them. Do we see that? Okay. So let's go ahead and make our parentheses. We have x squared minus 4x plus blank. And then we have plus y squared plus 6y plus blank equals 3. And what am I going to have over here? Very good, 2 blanks. We need 1 blank for my x's, and I need 1 blank for my y's. And I'm just using different colors right now so that you can see, you know, why I have the 2 blanks and which one goes with which. Okay, so we're going to complete this square for the x's. What will I do? Good. -4 divided by 2 is -2, and -2 squared is 4. So 4 goes in each of my purple blanks. Okay, then we go to the y's. We'll take 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and 3 squared is 9. So 9 goes in each of my red blanks. How will I write that as a square now for the x's? Good, x minus 2 squared, and again we get that -2 from my half number. Plus, my y's will be y plus 3 squared equals, and then when we add 3 plus 4 plus 9 all together, that makes 16. So what will my center be? Good, 2, -3, and my radius is 4, because r squared equals 16, and if we take the square root, we get 4. Questions before we move on? No? We're good? Okay. So, who thinks they know what to do first on this example? Very good. Our GCF is 6. We're going to divide every single thing by 6 because we want to get rid of it. Okay? We do not want any numbers in front when we are dealing with circles. So if we divide every single term by 6, what do I end up with? Okay. What do you notice that's different about this right now? Wait. Okay, say that one more time. It's out of order. Can you put it in order? Yeah, so we need to put our x's together, right? So we're going to have x squared minus 6x plus blank. I'm going to cross out everything that I just did to make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, then I have plus, and we have our y's. So I have y squared plus 2y plus blank. So I took care of those. Now what do you think I'm going to do with that 7? Good, and when I take it and move it to the other side, it becomes a -7, right? So we're going to have a -7, and then I have plus my red blank and plus my purple blank. I'm going to give you about a minute to try to finish this one on your own. Once you get it written, also write your center and your radius. Okay, I am not going to be able to make it around. Do you guys need another minute, or are we good? Yeah. We're good? No? Okay. You could always write them on whiteboards, too, if you want to. If you just tell me your center and your radius, you don't have to write the whole equation. That would basically tell me if you have it right or wrong. Taylor, you got it. Perfect. Perfect. Good. Perfect. Okay, so your radius should have been, or not your radius, I'm sorry. Your center should have been 3, -1. And your radius should have been the square root of 3. Okay, so as I go through here, I'm going to do this kind of quickly. We go -6 divided by 2 equals -3. -3 squared is 9. So 9 is going into each of my red blanks for my x's. Then we take 2 divided by 2, which is 1, and 1 squared is 1. So 1 is going into each of my purple blanks. When I write my equation, it's going to be x minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals, and -7 plus 9 plus 1 equals 10. So, no, not 10. 3. So this is my equation in descriptive form. And then from there, we were able to get the center of 3, -1 and the radius of the square root of 3. Because remember, if r squared equals 3, to get r, we take the square root. So r equals root 3. Questions? All right, are you guys already doing example 5? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit more time. When you get your answer, write your center and radius. Check your y. The only thing that's incorrect is your y. Perfect. There you go. Good. Perfect. 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 Good. Perfect. No. Okay, so when you finish, your center should have been -1, -2, and your radius is 4. Okay, so if we go and split this up, my x's, I have x squared plus 2x plus blank. For my y's, I have y squared plus 4y plus blank equals, we take the -11, move it over, which makes it a +11. And we have plus my x blank and plus my y blank. When we complete the square here, 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 1 squared equals 1. So 1 goes in each of my x blanks. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 squared equals 4, so 4 goes in each of my y blanks. My equation ends up becoming x plus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals, and 11 plus 1 plus 4 makes 16. This is my equation in descriptive form, and then my center is -1, -2, radius is 4. Questions? All right, example 6, you're identifying if these are a circle, parabola, or neither. A, what is it? Neither, because it's a line. B, what is that? How do you know it's a parabola? It has only one square term. Very good. C is what? How do you know? Well, it has 2 squared, and we've been talking about circles. But remember, you couldn't have those 5s in front. But if I divided everything by 5, it wouldn't end up having a number in front, right? Okay, so it is a circle.